I think absolutely just burped to start that recording, and I'm simply not doing it again. Hello, world and all who inhabit it. My name is Jessica J, aka Jessie J Plays, and today I have my Junior Trials 2003 co-hosts with me. Myself and Leah are gonna sit down and put together a pre-ban list for 2003
Hello,
format.
hello, everybody.
Now,
I'm very,
you
I'm
may
very sick.
You all in the audience may notice that Leah is dying. This is not ideal, but
Yeah.
that's Joe Brandon's America for you.
Well,
Um,
it's not Joe Brandon's America
are you
anymore.
kidding me? He's the current president. It was stolen from him. So we this is
I
the
listen.
worst politics you could possibly have is become like January 6th, but for Joe Biden. Imagine doing January 6th for the
For
guy
Joe,
that nobody has
for,
passionate feelings
for
about except
Sleepy
for
Joe.
for Sleepy Joe.
Listen, people listening to this recording. Here's how today went down. Jesse messaged me and said, "Are you good to do the pre-bans?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm sick as a fucking dog." And she cracked the whip and said, "No work, no pay." And I went, "Okay."
That's very true. That's if there's one thing we
And
know
I'll
about Junior
send
Trials
send
co-hosts
Tiny Tim to work.
is that it does pay well.
It does pay a lot of money.
It pays so much money. So
So
this is like true fucking communists. This is going to be a collective, collaborative process, and the idea behind that is like, we are Leah and myself both going to basically look inward whenever there is. We're gonna try to come to an agreement on as many of these items as possible, but whenever there is a disagreement, we simply must look inward and ask ourselves, is this a light disagreement, i.e., I don't think you're right, but I don't feel strongly enough about it to like do any kind of veto. A moderate disagreement, which is like, I want to hear you justify this and at least make me believe that you feel the way you feel. Maybe I can be convinced, but like I have some considerations, some concerns, or a hard disagree, which is, I under no circumstances are we putting Max C in 2003 format, and I veto.
it
Um,
wouldn't even be good.
eh,
Why would we do that?
Maxi is actually dog shit by Junior Trials rules. I guess draw three is a little bit
I
good,
guess
but
if you get to draw two, it's still pretty fucking good. But
yeah, I guess. But it's certainly it is no it Maxi will not be the factor in our format that it was
listen,
in the TCG. That was maybe a bad example, but yeah.
listen. I'm come prepared for a knockdown, drag out fight. I'm
Oh,
gonna fight you
fantastic.
on every single card.
So I think what we want to start off with, because there are two parts to this. There is reevaluating cards that were released before 2003, and then chatting about the cards that were released in 2003. So I think we can start with like the 2002 cards first. Work through if we think there are any changes that we should make, based both on things that Sophie and I maybe missed, and also ways in which the format is going to be different. And then we can move on into more 2003 releases.
That sounds good.
Cool. So looking at the ban list for 2002 Part 2, there are a couple things that immediately jump out as these are not problems anymore. 2002 was the way it was in large part because the card pool was so small that like there just weren't actually a huge number of bunguses, and 2003 changes that pretty significantly. So some of these cards are not going to be scary in the way they were. A great example of this is Labyrinth Wall. Labyrinth Wall we banned in 2002 format because there are so few big guys and it's annoying for there to just be two 3K walls. But we are certainly getting more 3K walls at this point, so I don't think this is relevant anymore.
Listen, I'm gonna have to hard disagree because I think it's funny to have it banned.
Okay, that's fine. I mean,
No,
it
it
doesn't
isn't
add
fine.
anything
Why
positive.
is
So
it
I
even
could
banned?
be
First,
I this is not one of my hardest points. I
get
just didn't
it
expect
out
to
of
see
here.
disagreement.
It shouldn't be banned. It
Okay,
shouldn't.
okay. We'll take Labyrinth Wall off the ban list. Similarly, Cosmo Queen and Buster Blader were limited in 2002 format. I think they can come to three. Coming into 2003 format, Cosmo Queen was like the only 2900 in the format. Now there are several, at least one of which I'm strongly considering hitting with pre-ban. So that card is not the as much of a queen as she once was, and Buster Blader would have seen play in 2002 even if it didn't have its effect, purely because 2600 is like the fourth best stat line in the format, and that's no longer really the case. It might still see play, but it's not like Buster Blader is not an auto include anymore.
I'm gonna have to hard disagree about the queen. I think the universe can have only one ruler, and it'll be a flavor of
That's true. We on Junior Trials are famously pro monarchy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so get that shit off the list. I
Awesome,
agree.
awesome,
I
awesome.
agree.
Um, I you might actually disagree with me on this one, but I think Delinquent Duo is fine. It made not a huge amount of impact in the tournament. The kind of the biggest impact it had in our last tournament was that Exodia was better than anyone intended, and therefore Delinquent Duo was playable. Now, with Despair from the Dark coming out, this card is even less good. So I truly think it's fine.
So, okay, this one I actually unironically have questions about.
Okay.
In what way is the format improved by having duo legal? Because it still seems fucked to me.
I think that I like the debate that happens on how to use your very premium, uh, very special one spell activation per turn. And I think it's funny that Delinquent Duo in like 99 times out of 100 is nowhere near the best activation of that. I do agree that it doesn't add anything to the format necessarily. But I just think it's funny, and I love Despair from the Dark, and I love owning people's delinquent duos with my Despair from the Dark.
Insofar as it's funny to like cuck delinquent duo by leaving it legal, I support that. It
Okay.
just seems like it just seems like if it was banned, it would be nobody would be like, no, not my delinquent duo, a card that's famously very fun. But
Um.
I have no disagreements
Okay.
really.
We
You can
will.
put it wherever you
Yeah.
like.
We'll unlimit delinquent. The delinquent duo. And then, are there any other like unbans that I want to do? I think most of the rest of this looks pretty bullshitty. In terms of what we have. Um,
I had one unban, only one unban or unlimit that I was thinking about, and I'm not super committed to this, but I wanted to hear your thoughts, which is bringing either Duster or MST up from one to two or one to
Actually, I
three.
really like that. Let's do that.
Uh,
We'll do MST specifically because that actually this is looking ahead a little bit, but Royal Decree releases in 2003. And that could be like a debate of whether it stays in the format, but I actually kind of like it as a little bit more counterplay to trap cards. And if Royal Decree is going to be legal, there probably should be more like explicit outs to it.
See, my argument is Royal Decree should just not be legal.
Okay.
Setting that aside, though, MST just means that all of the crazy traps have more gameplay to them, in that like you have answers, and it also means that any like weird floodgates that sneak by are like inherently audible.
Yeah. I do think that trap cards are going to be quite powerful in this format, no matter what choice we make. So I actually am very down to put Mystical Space Typhoon to 2.
I'm on board.
Uh, yeah. Totally down for that. And then I think the other changes that I want to make to 2002 card pool is at this point is probably making things more restrictive. I think those are like the unhits.
Yeah, those are the only things I would want to unhit. I think the only thing from the O2 card pool, actually, no, there are some things from O2. We got to talk about painful choice. So
My dog.
in the tournament, painful choice was like the broken card in the Exodia deck, and that's because painful choice is the broken card in every deck
Okay.
that it's in.
I want to ask you, what does Exodia as a strategy add to the trading card game that is positive?
I think it's nostalgic and people, I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh. It's Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, that's
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Activate Exodia.
We limited Blue Eyes White Dragon. We can kill nostalgia if it is in service of a fun format.
I
Our
mean, if you're proposing banning the left leg or something, then like, sure, I guess, but I feel like you could generally leave Exodia legal in TCG form in case anybody ever has a funny Exodia list, because people like playing it, and just make sure that the enablers aren't in unfucking believable, and it's generally bad enough that it's not like an active problem.
Yeah. I don't know in the history of junior format if Exodia has ever really. A lot of the time, Exodia it either like the big problem is that I just don't enjoy playing against it, whether I'm winning or losing, because it often feels as though it is just like either a dominating force where it's like, well, I cannot attack this face down Sangan or I lose the game, or it does nothing. Um, but I will say this on the subject of Exodia. I think it makes sense to limit Witch of the Black Forest.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I really liked the deck that won um, the tournament. I thought it was a great value deck, very well played by its pilot, whose name escapes me at the
Sparky.
moment.
Sparky did play it well. Also, Sparky does
Yeah,
not have pronouns on their profile, and I have this horrible thing where I assume anybody who doesn't have pronouns on their Discord profile and plays Yu-Gi-Oh is he him, and I should not be doing that. And I apologize to Sparky if that is not accurate. But yeah, Sparky did play that game very well.
yeah. Sparky played great, and I loved the deck. I thought the Thunder Dragon engine was really great and very effective in junior format. But I think that deck showed that like you can't have like Witch and Sangan both unlimited. Like they're crazy. They were the central engine pieces of Exodia too. So I agree with limiting Witch. How do you feel about Sangan?
I like Sangan because it's a small guy deck. And I think my like of Sangan is also partially why I'm kind of anti Exodia, because I think in not necessarily right now, but there will definitely come a time where I have to choose between Sangan and Exodia in my format. And if that time should happen, I'm going to choose Sangan 100 times out of 100.
I do like that Sangan is a small guy deck. You like it at 3.
Yeah, I am a Sangan enjoyer. Especially with the errata. Even though we keep forgetting that it's errata, it is actually like weaker than it was in the
What does
TCG.
the errata even do again? Does it
Um,
make you wait until the end of the turn?
Number one, it's a hard one. Number two, you can't use the effects of cards whose name match what you searched off of the Sangan or Witch. So basically, you can't just like link one Sangan and go off, which is like a good errata. Konami doesn't always do that, but that's like a correct errata.
So yeah, I'm fine with limit witch.
Yeah.
Keep Sangan unlimited.
Yeah, I think
On
six of them are too many, and then like also Witch is just like it's just gonna search bunguses as
Yeah,
like
witch has
eventually
always
Witch
been
probably
pathetic.
just gets banned because it's like oh search Tyler the Great Warrior. What were you saying?
No, witch has always been the better one. So
Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
I anyway, I did kind of skate the question on painful choice because I do think it's very funny. Um, but I do acknowledge that it is fundamentally so broken in its design, so utterly incompetent in its conception of what Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game would eventually be. Um, I still maintain that it's probably more of an Exodia problem than a painful choice problem right now. And I also think that the fact that Sinister Serpent is in the format now is one of the funniest things you can do with Painful Choice. But if you are strongly against, we can kill it.
some people in the Discord said that they want to play Painful Choice this year since it's obviously banned immediately
When
for
when
oh
Chaos
04.
comes out, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
So I would be fine with putting it to one, limiting the Exodia pieces, and between those two changes and like which to one, I think Exodia in general becomes much less potent.
sure. We will limit Painful Choice. We made we made a choice,
You
and it
know, it
caused
wasn't that
us.
painful of a choice for me actually.
Okay, valid, valid, valid. I still want to just ban an Exodia piece.
I mean, it's your format.
Well, do you have like a strong opposition to it? Is my question. Because you have veto power.
No, I don't have a strong opposition to it. I just
Okay.
think it's necessary.
Um. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna commit to it. I don't want Exodia in my format. If a future co-host really, really wants it, they can fight with me. But right now, we are. Which is your least favorite leg?
Oh man, you gotta ban like the left leg.
Perfect. Left leg of the. Now it's truly the forbidden one.
True.
Okay, so we want. Also, um, I think this might be the last changes I want to make in terms of 2002 card pools. Cyber Jar and Morphing Jar number two were cards that I kind of let exist for a little while just out of a dearth of things to do in 2002 format. Now that we are expanding the card pool and there are more things, I think I'm ready to ban them.
Totally agreed.
Cool.
Book of Tayu comes out this year too, which makes Empty Jar better.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to say sayonara.
All right. Goodbye, Cyber Jar. Goodbye, Morphing Jar number two. Morphing Jar number one is totally fine. Um, and then I think that's all my stuff in terms of 2002 stuff. Do you have anything else before we move into the '03 card pool?
I do. So I don't believe you that Pot of Greed isn't good. I
Okay.
think that's an insane position to hold, especially if you look at the tournament. Like people drew Pot of Greed and activated it, and it was great.
It was
like it,
good. It wasn't like the be all end all. Like Pot of Greed instantly wins you the game in TCG in a way that it simply doesn't in junior format. I can go for a Pot of Greed ban though. I won't say no to that.
I mean, if you want it to be legal, surely three isn't the right number.
I think 3 is better than 1, but
I could see that as like preventing swinginess.
yeah, we can ban Pot of Greed. I can let go. Um, Messenger of Peace. Okay. And yeah, we will ban Pot of Greed, and I think that leads us into our 2003 releases.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna start with some obvious ones that simply
And
cannot exist under any circumstances. First on the list is anti-spell fragrance.
I also have a list of immediate bans, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want
yeah.
to just alternate on these?
Yeah, let's just start name dropping.
So, Sayonara, Dark Dust Spirit.
Dark Dust Spirit is so fucking powerful. It would literally be better if it would literally be more balanced if it didn't fucking bounce itself. It is just Dark Hole that you activate every turn.
It's unbelievable
Yeah.
in this format. Yeah,
I did Fiber Jar come out this year?
it did, and it should come out by banning it.
Yeah. I think it should. I am usually a huge fan of coming out, but in this case, Fiber Jar can stay in the closet.
Stay in that
It can.
fucking closet,
I think.
bud.
I think this is a great time to just get all the fucking jars out of there.
We hate jars on
Dust
this show.
Spirit,
Jars do not
Fiber.
contract.
Yeah, Fiber Jar is too much. What else have we got? What else have we got?
Duster. Please do not make me play against Harpy's Feather Duster.
Oh, Harpy's Feather Duster. Perfect. Goodbye. Yeah, the TCG fucking stubbornly clings to their insane conception of the ban list, where Feather is legal and Heavy is banned, and it's been stupid every single day they've done it, and I refuse.
Yeah,
Yeah. Kaiser Coliseum is maybe not good yet, but I don't really want to ever see it become good.
agreed. Last turn, I don't want to have to pull up the document that tells you how this card works.
What if we leave it legal for part 1?
Are you gonna play last
I'm
turn?
not gonna play last turn against you. But some people in the Discord expressed interest in playing it in the tournament, and
Okay.
I don't think it's good. I want to see somebody try it.
If we must, that you know
Okay.
what? That sounds funny, so I'm on
We will.
board.
Yeah, we can. The nice thing is that we can ban it in part 2. We have that capability, so we can just we can come back to this discussion later. I think Magic Cylinder in Bungus format is too much.
I found it interesting that Magic Cylinder wasn't banned last year, and it seemed like it didn't really see any play.
Was it legal last year?
Was it not? Did it come out this year?
I think it came out in 2003. It could be the case that we were all dumb, and we forgot about Magic Cylinder. But all right, Magic Cylinder. No, Magic Cylinder is a 2003 card.
Damn. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's. I just thought it was
Yeah.
legal, and everyone
Okay.
was like, "No, why would I do that?"
Yeah. So, some interesting trap card stuff going on here. Um,
I would like to ban Graceful Charity.
okay, for sure.
Please do not Graceful my charity.
Yeah. Um, there are two interesting trap card things going on in 2003 format, and I think there's a good chance that both of these traps are too good, but I kind of want to limit them to start off just purely out of curiosity. The first new thing is Blast held by Tribute, which, because of the stated rules of Junior Trials, is now just Mirror Force, but it deals you 1,000 damage. I think it's funny that this card that was never super good before, just became very powerful. So I would be willing to leave it at one at least for part one.
I'm like looking up this card. What the fuck does this card do?
It's like for tribute summons. It's literally just that clause in our rules exactly.
It was tribute summoned exactly. Destroys many. That's so funny.
Yeah,
Okay, what do
because
you
it's
think
just any
about?
monster that's normal summoned.
Okay, counterpoint. What if we ban Mirror Force and leave this legal?
That's incomprehensible. I kind of like it.
No,
But no.
yeah, just get rid of it.
Full ban it, no trial limit.
Oh, I would be fine with limiting it.
Yeah, well we
It's
can
never been playable ever.
yeah. Blast held by tribute will be one of. And then the other one that's interesting is Ring of Destruction. This card was super, 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 mega, ultra broken in Season 1, but the nice thing about Season 2 is that we're playing by modern errata. So it's not an immediate OTK. However, it is still undeniably very powerful. I would, again, be down to put it at 1, just in the sense of, like, it's never been played in junior format in this text.
That's fine. I
Okay.
can live with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ring of Destruction at one. Okay.
My original thinking was ban it so that I don't have to remember the errata.
The errata will be in front of you. I feel like it's harder to remember the original text because that's not what you're reading.
Well, fair enough. That's fine.
um.
Uh, okay, on my shit list, Yatagarasu. I know it's probably not that good, but it's just uninteresting if it's ever good.
Yeah, yeah. Yada. It is explicitly a card that says when you play the game, don't.
Yeah.
I it doesn't really add anything fun to the format. I want to make excuses for the other two spirit monsters in the format, but I don't think I can. Hino Kagutsuchi and Yamada Dragon are just so fucking powerful.
Yeah, you win if either of them connect once, and I think that's, that reduces gameplay down to kind of angling to try to hit them, which is something that was never the case in the TCG, but that's good because it's bad.
That is definitely the spelling of Hino Kagutsuchi of all time. I will double check that later. Um,
So I've been slow rolling my bands until we get to some of the more interesting ones.
okay.
I don't think this one is that interesting, but I really like Metamorphosis. I think it's cool. I think it unlocks cool gameplay, especially because Scapegoat will be legal and actually good this time around because you can activate it. But I do not want anybody to metamorphosis into Last Warrior from
Okay.
another planet.
I am 1000% in agreement with all of that. Yeah. From another
If you want to
planet, we'll
meta
just
into Relinquished, go ahead.
cool.
But please let me summon
I
monsters.
guess we do gotta discuss some quick play spells, don't we? Because there are a number of cards released in 2003, among them Book of Moon and Scapegoat. Saw barely any play in Junior Journey because they were, of course, not quick play. But now they are quick play. I could see them being limit worthy for sure.
I'm of the opinion that they would be both fine, both be fine. I mean,
Okay.
this is just me personally. Um, Scapegoat and Book historically both, I don't think ever dropped below semi-limited. I don't even think Scapegoat was
Book
ever
of
touched.
Moon was limited in like 2012. Book of Moon was limited for like ages.
I think Book of Moon is one of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards with the best design of any single Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, but
It always leads to pretty good gameplay. You can use it proactively, reactively.
okay.
Its removal, its protection, it dodges targeting.
Yeah.
I think it's a great and fun card. If it
Okay.
was a hit at all, I would vote for Semid. But I don't see any
We can
problem with it
start with the
being
quick play spell girlies at 3. And just like, if there is a way to ruin our lives with that, I trust the Discord to show it to us. So I am fine. I'm a little concerned about them, but I'm fine with being wait and see on it for the time being.
cool. I agree.
Okay.
Especially because they haven't been like really playable in junior format
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's like
And
let me play with
the other
tiny new.
side of it too is that even if Scapegoat does start to see a lot of play, you know what that's gonna cause? People are gonna start fucking playing Air Knight Parshath, which you don't need the tribute for.
Yeah, or you could play Asura Priest if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
There's a Tyrant Dragon deals with it.
yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that's good against.
I actually might want to limit Tyrant Dragon. That card is nuts.
Oh, that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would be down to limit Tyrant Dragon just to start off. Um, and then how do you feel about Invader of Darkness?
What the fuck? Okay, is
It...
this the guy that's crazy against Runic, the one that prevents?
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. If people are
Oh yeah,
checking that card, it's
this
hilarious.
there were branded players who were summoning
Oh my
this card
god,
again.
I love this kid. I love this dumbass game.
So I see what you're saying. He's
Yeah.
a 2900. He turns off your opponent's scapegoat or book. I like him under the principle of he's never been good in any format, so I like that he's good in this format.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
we'll give him a try for now, but there is definitely a world where like he gets some kind of hit in part 2.
yeah, I'm
Um,
fine with keeping him
yeah,
legal for.
we'll keep an eye on the lad.
Okay, more things I hate that I want gone. Skill drain. Just
Oh, I didn't even realize Skill Drain was this year.
just ban skill
Yeah, kill
drain.
it. Wait, is it? I'm gonna double check you on that because
I'm almost positive it is because I saw it earlier when I was looking. Yeah, it's from '03. It's from December 1st, '03.
Oh, okay. So it's late in '03. It isn't showing up in the YGO Pro deck database for '03 cards, but this unfortunately it is not a 100% accurate. But we'll have yeah, skill drain. You do not need to twist my arm on.
Um, I also would be an advocate for just banning Royal. I think one trap to answer all traps is too good. I think
Royal
if you want to answer a trap, you can play Thousand Tools. This is me
Okay.
personally.
Um Royal, did you say Royal Decree or Royal Oppression? Because I think you could make an argument to ban both of them.
Uh, Royal Oppression is like it's a weird card that doesn't get good for a long time, and I don't see it being good in this format.
Okay.
Especially when there's the 3 special limit thing. I mean, I guess it's good still in that respect. It never really leads to great gameplay, so you could ban it if you want. I wouldn't care.
Okay. Yeah, we can ban Royal Decree for now. I still like that card, but a lot of people disagree on it.
I mean, if Jinzo is banned, it seems
Well,
sensible.
Jinzo's a normal summon. That's completely different.
I suppose, yeah.
It's got a big fucking fist. But yeah, that is fine. Um, yeah, what else have we got? How do we feel about bottomless trap hole? Because it's probably at least a limit because trap hole is limited. I'm just like go back and forth a little bit between whether it's a limit or a ban. I think I'm leaning limit because I think similar to Dark Hole, I kind of like it as a threat.
I agree. I like limiting it.
Okay.
Um, I also, this was why I was saying just make more spell trap removal legal because then it's less bad to get hit by these things, or
Okay.
rather, there's more answers to these things.
Gotcha. Gotcha. A Happy a Woo on Discord mentioned Final Countdown, and I think I agree with that. I think in a limited action economy, um, kind of format, there are means to just make games run long, and I would like there to be as few incentives to make games run long in that way as possible.
I have no special affinity for Final Countdown. That's
Cool.
fine.
All right.
How do you feel about Trap Dust Shoot? I don't like it. Um, I think it would be really, really deeply funny to have it banned in a format where duo is legal.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, I think that, well, I guess historical TCG was a little bit different because Delinquent Duo was basically reverse Pot of Greed. But in a lot of situations in both our format and in the TCG, the hand knowledge ends up being the thing that is really, really good. So I'm totally down to ban Trap Dust Shoot.
That's fine.
How do we feel about Spirit Reaper?
Um, what's the interaction between Spirit Reaper and Book of Moon?
I would need to double check this. I'm think it like weirdly flips itself and then dies.
If it's targeted by Book of Moon, it will be flipped face down and will not be destroyed by its own effect.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so um how good was Spirit Reaper in original, Jade? I would imagine its regular weakness of my opponent can summon it and then attack me for 2700.
um,
Or its regular weakness is amplified to that in this format.
there were some number of decks in season 1 that utilized just like monsters that couldn't be destroyed by battle to make games run long, and then the win con was like Catapult Turtle. It wasn't like the most common thing, and I don't know that that strategy will be super usable in 2003, especially since we do have a decent amount of removal. Did Compulsory Evacuation Device come out yet?
No, it's an Invasion of Chaos.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I would say Spirit Reaper came up occasionally in some slightly cringy decks. There was a minute where my hot take in Junior Journey was that we should semi-limit Spirit Reaper, semi-limit Gora Turtle, and like there was one other guy that everybody who wanted to stall things out was playing.
Um,
But
I'm
uh,
fine with like Limit or Semi Spirit Reaper if you feel strongly about it.
let's start with a semi limit and see what it looks like from there. We'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Torrential Tribute?
I actually kind of like TT. Um I think that goes back to my like putting MST at 2 and like making the counterplay to trap cards fairly powerful. And I also think that in a format like this where we got stuff like Despair from the Dark, which is going to be like a really big wall, I think the Bungus boards in 2003 are going to be a lot more impressive than 2002, and I am down with some amount of board wipes for that reason. Maybe TT is better limited than at 3, but I don't think I want to see it outright banned.
No, I don't want it banned either.
Um,
Um, at 3, I'm operating under the principle of it's trap hole. Uh, so I,
it's not the same, though. The thing about TT that I like is similar to what I like about Mirror Force in that it's like it's not like in Junior Journey, cards like Bottomless Trap Hole and Smashing Ground always got banned and limited, whereas TT and Mirror Force ultimately skated by after the first few years. Because like TT forces you to kill your own monsters as well. Mirror Force is only attack position monsters. So like there is a way as like an opponent you can play around it that might not necessarily occur with smashing or bottomless.
Interesting. Okay, that's fine. Um, if do you think three is the right number for it?
I think three would be the right number for it if somebody hadn't banned Royal Decree. We can try it at one.
What is it you like about royalty?
I just like having a I think that trap cards are not typically the thing you use to destroy trap cards. I think that typically it's going to be a like weirdly with card design in Yu-Gi-Oh, I think spells and monsters kill trap cards way more frequently than trap cards kill trap cards. So I think it is like so similar to how trap stun uh at some point in kind of the synchro era was just like a good play around to your opponent having like a ton of powerful trap cards, just like be done for a turn and let me not have to worry about it. I think Royal Decree serves a similar function.
Uh, I suppose I see that, but like decree just it seems like the philosophy of the ban list is that anything that like stops the game from happening theoretically indefinitely is like worrisome and annoying.
I can live with 0 Royal Decree, 1 TT.
Sure.
Torrential Tribute. Keyboard, please work with me, baby girl. Okay. Let's see. What else have we got? Oh, this is not a ban list thing, but I decided because sometimes Konami is correct with their erratas and sometimes they are not. That it is up to the hosts of the individual years of junior trials to decide whether we honor or ignore the erratas. And if you are down for it, I would love to ignore the errata on Sinister Serpent.
My opinion of it is that if you're going to play with erratas, you should either have everything with its current errata or everything with its historical errata. I don't like picking and choosing because that's like hard to keep track of.
I mean, there's a list. I mean, this was the rule from day one, but if you don't want to do that, that's fine.
What's the current errata on Sinister Serpent?
Just makes it unplayable basically. Um,
I'm fine with the old errata, with the old text.
oh, this is the old version. Yeah, it's like you can only use this effect of Sinister Serpent once per turn. Also, if you use this effect, you gotta banish a Sinister Serpent from your graveyard during your opponent's next standby phase.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with Sinister Serpent being legal as its original text. It's a fun card.
I agree that in an ideal world it would be easier if everything was like either eroded or uneroded. The problem is that Konami is frequently wrong. And that is as much as anything else what this series is about.
Fair enough. I don't really have anything else on my list that needs to be hit. I have a couple of cards on my shit list, which are cards that like I don't think should be hit in any way, but which I'm like, which are Rivalry of Warlords, Mystical Knight of Jackal, and Necro Valley. But I can't really see any of those being a problem now.
Yeah. I get what you're saying for sure. The Mystical Knight of Jackal is interesting because one card that I was going to propose that we ban until I realized that it's actually a 2004 card is Phoenix Wing Windblast. Simply because the way in which card advantage tempo works in junior format, going Phoenix Wing Windblast and targeting your opponent's set trap card is devastating. It is just like in terms of only being able to set one card per turn, having to wait another card, losing a draw. It's just like a nightmare in a way that's very specific to how these rules work. And Mystical Jackal has the potential to be the same way. The saving grace, though, is that it's not the biggest guy in the format.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Plus, he's never been good in anything else, and that gets a big pass from me.
Yeah. Is there
Um,
anything else I wanted to double check on? I think I want to say we got everything, but oh, Ultimate Obedient Fiend.
how legal do you like him?
I don't know if I like him any legal at all because
That's fine.
every time he is summoned, I feel like I have failed.
I think he's something of a mascot for the format, but I'm
We
fine
can
with it.
leave him for a little while and see if he like causes war crimes.
Well, he immediately becomes a problem once that fire deck is around,
Well,
right?
I think spiritual I think in reality we just need to ban spiritual fire art Kurenai when it comes out. I think that that kind of burn card when you can normal summon a 3k monster is probably untenable. So I think that might be more of a spiritual fire art problem than an ultimate obedient fiend problem.
I like Ultimate Obedient Fiend because I think he's fucking, and for that reason, I would
Okay.
advocate a limit. Although I would be fine with a ban.
We'll leave ultimate obedient fiend for now and hope it doesn't ruin our lives later.
Wait, at
Um
or at limited?
at 3.
I
Um
kind of like him at limited.
okay, that also works. That is funny, I won't lie. Ultimate
I've got a
obedient.
couple of other things on my considerations list, but I don't really feel like hitting them.
Okay.
One is Mirage of Nightmare, and my notes are, buddy, if you want a Mirage of Nightmare, it is, with that said, a good card.
It's a good card. I don't know that it's 2003 good.
It's better now that you can like fire quick play spells.
Yeah.
In fact, it's much better now in that you can do the classic Mirage of Nightmare and then use an MST on it.
Yeah,
Um,
the problem is that you really in junior format cannot set your hand as effectively.
oh, that's fair. Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a Mirage of Nightmare, be.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there may come a time where Mirage of Nightmare is too much, but I'm willing to just wait and see on it for now.
Magical Scientist, I think, is really cool and fun and fine, especially with a three special summon limit. So I like him.
I don't know what you would do with magical scientists at this point. You have Thousand Eyes Restrict, and that's pretty much it.
Whatever
But
you would do with him would be really funny.
we'll, we'll leave magical scientist is another that like at some point. Well, I guess even the 3 special summon limit does make it interesting even like later on. But I am willing to at least like leave it legal and have somebody like make a fool of me and show me like the reason that magical scientist should remain banned.
Two more on my random stuff list, but I think Warrior Toolbox. So I'm fine with Rhoda being at three.
I think Rhoda's way less good in Junior than it was in TCG because level 4s aren't the strongest guys you're summoning anymore. I
Oh,
think,
that's a
yeah, I think it'll still see play. I think the, oh, I guess. but it's your one spell activation. Actually, I don't even know if it's gonna see play because it's essentially Upstart Goblin. After a certain point, you can like search out Exiled Force or DD Warrior Lady or Obnoxious Cultic Guard, but I don't think that is going to be enough to be broken in the face of Tyrant Dragon format.
And then I just made a note on Last Will, which I don't know if it does anything, but it's a card.
Did we really not ban Last Will? I guess it's fine for now. It hasn't done anything yet.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. But yeah, those are, we made a number of changes, and I think that should just about do it for the 2003, pre-bans. So I think we
I
can.
have I actually have two more.
Oh, okay. Never. Fuck me. What were you saying?
Number one is I'm rethinking the Pot of Greed thing, and I think I need to play the format to get a sense of Pot of Greed.
Okay.
It's also occurring to me that like leaving duo legal but pot banned is possibly even worse. So, and I understand why you guys find Pot of Greed fun because you actually have to think about if you want to draw cards this turn or do something else.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with keeping pot at 3.
Yeah, and we can again. We have a part two ban list to return to, so
Yeah.
we can chat about this later. We'll have a tournament under our belt, and we'll be able to see what all it does.
And then my final request is Alpha the Magnet Warrior. I think he's scary. I think he's dangerous. Alpha, beta, and gamma meld as one to form a powerful monster.
That monster has 3,500 attack.
Can we
That
can
is
we
that trades with Ultimate Obedient Fiend.
can we afford to ignore alpha, beta, and gamma?
Is
I don't
that a
know.
thing? Do we think that's an interaction that has ever happened? Has anybody let us know. Let us know in the comments, YouTubers. Has anybody ever traded Ultimate Obedient Fiend for Valkyrion, the Magna Warrior?
All right, that's truly and actually
Okay,
everything
cool,
I
cool, cool.
have.
Yeah, I will go ahead and ship this off to the junior format Discord. We'll hold a little tournament next week to see what is good. And then next, oh, but we can't record next weekend. Huh. Hmm. I didn't. I guess like. Actually, we should be fine. Are you able to record like February 9th or 10th, the evening of?
Let's see.
I guess this is entirely not YouTube stuff, so I can stop recording now. But thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Discord. Goodbye.